Good evening, everyone. Thanks for making it to the session this evening. My name is Matt. I'll be teaching you how to inspect a synthetic sling this evening. As we walked around the facility earlier, I pointed out all the exits and facilities, including the bathroom and the kitchen. Especially the exits, just keep them in mind throughout the course, as if the event of an emergency, we'll have to make an orderly exit towards them. Synthetic sling inspection will be a skill required in your dogging and basic rigger course that you're partaking in. The outcome at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to discern whether the label on a rigging sling has been damaged, removed, or is no longer legible. So I will be taking you through the inspection of that label, then we'll go through it as a group, and then I'll get you to demonstrate it to me by yourself. So a round sling is the most common form of sling in the lifting industry. One, because it's very cheap, and two, it's very light, which makes it easy to work with. The construction of the sling, you might not believe it, but the outer core that you can see, which is this grey canvas, is not a part of the load bearing. It's the internal core, which is made up of a synthetic fibre yarn.
Feels funny.
Yeah. Yes, so it's almost like a horsehair that is wound around and around. The minimum construction required is 11 rotations. So you can imagine how you wind up an extension cord on your arm. So it's 11 times to meet minimum standards in Australia. And a lot of people don't realise, but how they fix the end once they have finished with the 11 rotations, it's just by simple sticky tape.
No way.
So
under there, that's what's there.
Yes.
No way.
So this particular sling is good for 2-ton lifting capacity.
No.
So, and they go up to 10 ton.
Wow.
And larger if they're made specifically for an engineered lift. So this sling can have 2 tons load on it, and somewhere in here, which usually if you run your hands around it, you can feel that there'll be a little bit of a uneven connection, and that will most likely be some sort of tape.
Crazy.
That you wrap your Christmas presents with.
You might even know that.
That's such a fun fact.
Yeah, and that's all the way up to 10-ton slings. There's
No way.
They just put a little bit more tape on.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, I can feel mine.
Literally hanging by sticky tape.
Feel it. Is that my lip there? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that is, yeah.
For sure. Found it. That's crazy.
That is very crazy. So that internal layer is pretty useless without this protective core on the outside.
Yeah.
Very easily frayed. Like I said, it's almost like it's a synthetic fibre yarn, so like a hair almost product, and comes undone obviously because it's wound around each other like a good extension lead does all the time. You move it around and it's knotted itself, and that's exactly what a sling will do. So this is a protective core layer, which helps just protect it from abrasion and obviously keep it in good form. So, has anyone worked in or around with rigging slings in their job? Yep, like?
I'm a rigger.
You're a rigger?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got a lot of knowledge about
So
this.
quite familiar with slings, yes.
So, have you inspected your slings before use before?
I have.
Yeah,
I do every time.
and you've used slings for lifting purposes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's
Big
good.
slings,
So-
yeah. Been involved with really small lifts all the way up to, yeah, I wouldn't say maybe double digit lifts, but yeah, pretty big lifts.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've worked on a site where they've had a 1,000-ton crane
Oh.
lifting up a 50-metre vessel
Oh,
and
wow.
multiple slings
Wow.
in excess of 10 tonnes.
That is so cool.
I see that Enrazy one. When I was on Barrow Island, they had like a 1250-ton crane or something like that.
Whoa.
And they're lifting up this huge module. The spreader bar itself was like 90 ton.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
90 tons.
It's quite impressive what the configuration you can
Yeah.
use. So the
So what's the point of inspecting them is to make sure it's
safe for use.
Safe,
So again, there's multiple steps
Yeah.
in inspecting a sling, a
Mhm.
webbing sling. But the best place to start for an inspection, other than any visible damage to a sling,
Mhm.
which this could be cut, frayed, or it could be completely detached and not making an actual round sling. But the best place to start is what we're looking for today, which is the manufacturer's tag. So this will be put on at the time of manufacture, and it needs to be present, and it needs to have all the correct information on it.
What if it's not there?
You need to tag this piece of equipment out of service and put it in the bin.
Okay.
Make sure it's not used.
Yeah.
So it needs to be able to be read. So if it's faded or worn out, you're not allowed to use it. It needs to have the working load limit of the sling. And if you refer to the task breakdown, that'll have all the information and all the required steps for inspecting a lifting sling. But today we just want to see that this tag is actually here, that we can read the information, and that it hasn't been modified in any way, and that it's also in serviceable date. With all webbing products, which you might have learnt in previous courses that you've done. I know in Working at Heights they cover it for harnesses, that all webbing has a 10-year lifespan.
Yep. We did learn that earlier.
Okay. So usually it's located where the outer covering has been stitched together, and it's protected so that it can't be easily ripped off or worn or sun damaged. So you find where they've stitched the two ends of the cover together, which is quite a discernible part of the harness, the sling, sorry. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get back, but you just pull it back and you just make sure that that tag is there.
So there's no trick to it, like you can't wreck it by pulling it back because it feels a bit stiff.
No, you can't wreck it,
Okay.
you just
Rip it back.
Give it a
rip
go.
back.
Oh yeah? Oh wow, there's way more there than I realised. Yep. Okay. Wow, 2,000 kilos.
Okay, so can anyone give me the working load limit of their
Yep.
sling? Yep.
2,000 kilos.
2,000 kilograms, yep, that's what I've got here, and they're the same type of slings, so yeah, that's very good. Can anyone give me the year of manufacture?
2017.
Very good. And can anyone give me the test number or serial number? Can they locate that? You don't need to give me the whole number, but you can just tell me that you can find it and that it's at least
It's on the front.
It does, and also numbers.
STJ 11534
Ooh, okay.
2910237.
Epic.
That's very good.
That's it.
This is the one front. Yeah. Safety label, test number. Nice.
Okay, so Blair, I'll just get you to put the sling back to its normal state.
Yep.
And I'll just get, now that we've gone through it together, I'll just get you to run through it and talk the class through on how you would find that tag.
Alright, so I work my way around until I find a stitch. That's usually where it is. Now, mine felt a little bit rough and firm. I can see the tag sticking out at the top.
Yep.
So, be rougher with it than I thought I was allowed to be.
Yep,
Pull it
definitely.
back. And then when I get through it, at the front, tells you the load bearing
Yep.
amount and the test number.
Yep.
Most important information there would be the load bearing amount. That would be the main thing I'd be looking for.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the also the
And then the date.
date.
If I turn it over, it was back here, and that was in 2017, and we learned earlier that it has a 10-year thing, so that would be within date range, so that's safe to use.
How often should you check your equipment
Every time,
every time before you use it? Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
every time. And if it's not there and I can't find it, that needs to be
Discard.
discarded,
Yeah.
yeah. Or I could give it to the supervisor,
Yeah.
and they will discard it. Yep.
Very good.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, Blake, I'll get you to pretend you didn't hear that and do a similar thing for us. And
So
present it
yeah,
to the class.
we begin by picking up, and you naturally inspect it as you're trying to find the tag.
Yeah.
Looking for any frayed parts of the sling, essentially.
Yeah.
Or anything that looks like it's been crushed. So if it's really, if there's a weird pattern in the sling, you
Yeah.
inspect that a bit closer.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then you come around and find, the stitching where this outer section is joined, and pull the covering back, and in your inspection is ensure that the load that you'll be lifting is within its working load limit,
Yep.
and ensure that it's in date. So you find that this one is in fact 2017, so that's within the 10-year date range, and it also has information regarding what kind of impact choking or basketing or wrapping slings around square beams has on your sling, and it has the numbers with that. So it's all
And
up to
obviously,
date.
yeah. So, and obviously, with your previous experience, you're aware of the wrapping and that. Blair obviously
Exactly.
will learn that further in the
Yeah.
rigging and doggers course.
Awesome.
Correct.
So that'll be in the next session.
Great.
So yeah, that's pretty
Right,
much
that's
it.
great. Thank you very much for that. That's
And in my experience, if that tag isn't present, or there is damage where we deem the sling unusable, I have seen and done it myself. We actually cut the slings,
Oh wow,
so
that's
there's
so
no way no one else will use that
That's
sling.
cool.
yeah,
That
and
makes
that's also a way you can deal with it too.
Wow.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, guys. That was
Thanks
a
for
great
that.
demonstration on the skill that we've learnt tonight. So now you're
Great teacher.
Yeah.
able to identify that the tag is there, whether it's still there, whether it's been removed, whether it's been damaged, and whether you can read all the correct information from it. So that's, like I said, it's just one of the steps in sling maintenance and care and inspection, but it's probably the best place to start.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for that.
Thanks for the demo. That was cool.
So in the next session, we'll be identifying damage in the inner core that we spoke about earlier in the lesson, and that'll add to your sling inspection repertoire.
Awesome.
Does anyone have any questions in regards to the lesson?
No, that was really good. Thanks for bringing them in for us to actually feel them.
That's okay. Is
How
there
would you go about storing slings for
storing
those who don't
slings?
have much experience?
Okay, you'd store them in a rigging warehouse.
Yep.
And
It's generally in like a dry,
cool dry place, so
Cover
not
it
affected
outside.
by humidity.
yeah, off the ground.
Sun damage, yeah.
Alright. If it's not too much trouble, I'll get you to fill out the participant feedback form so I can better teaching and hopefully to keep on delivering great lessons to people who are interested in learning about Sling Inspection.
And that tile is just the same as this one here? Yep.
Yes, correct.
Awesome. Sweet.
Thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Matt.
No worries, thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.